couldn't get the photo right. And then I didn't want them to see me taking a weird photo like that they didn't know. Like,
so you didn't even say hi to them? You just like took a photo of them?
I took a photo of them, but I was so shaking so hard, I didn't even get them in the frame.
That is hilarious.
So weird and stalker. And then I felt weird and stupid that I'm like sitting in front of like the Hoxton Hotel trying to get a photo of Florian and Stacey, but I was just so nervous. And I'm like, that is so weird and I'm like creeping. So I had to stop and I walked away.
Could have just gone up, they could have introduced yourself,
I said, I'm like, you know what? I'm globally famous. And I really need you to know that I'm also famous. No, I'm kind of obsessed with both of them and their stories and also 90 Day Fiancé.
I love it. What about, one of the things you and I have in common, I have to bring up, is the first concert, the first album ever. This is where I date myself, but the Go-Go's have fundamentally shaped my musical existence as a human being as well. I know we share that.
I love them. And so exciting that they were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And my first concert was the Vacation Tour, which was at the Great Theater in San Francisco and Berkeley. And I've seen them so many times in different capacities over the years and can count them as friends. They're really phenomenal.
I was just going to say, what is it like being friends with Belinda Carlisle?
She's awesome. And her son is so great. And they're just incredible. Like I love all of them. I've written songs with Jane. I've gotten to interview all of them. I've, just like gotten to know them over the years. And I'm just a huge fan. And I think that they've done so much for women in music and they just are amazing.
The Beauty and the Beat album is like, I think there's not one word that I don't know that I could tell you in my sleep.
So good. And I think, the whole story of them having to like take the towels back. The towels were like bought and then returned because they couldn't afford costumes in it. But it was such an iconic look. So playful and it kind of 60s, like it had like that girl group 60s thing.
Yeah.
But at the same time, very elegant, but also punk rock.
And it came in two different colors. It was like the blue and then they had like an alternative like peach.
Yes. So great. So great.
Would you ever want to host your own talk show when we talk about things you haven't done, like a full hour the Margaret Cho show?
I would love that. I think like it's really something that it would be really special and it would be really fun. And I love shows like Dinah Shore and those kinds of like show. I would love to have like Dr. Joyce Brothers on or something. I guess the equivalent now would be maybe Dr. Sue Johansson, somebody like that. And I love like talk shows. And I also love like Dick Cavett, like all of those older shows where you got to see sort of like the grand dames of Hollywood, people like Katharine Hepburn and everybody like he would have like Alain Delon and John and Yoko and everybody. It was really incredible.
I can totally see this.
Yes.
Well, in addition to this starring role in Sex Appeal on Netflix, you've been in you've made appearances in so many of my other favorite TV shows, but talk to me about 30 Rock. That has to be a career high being nominated for an Emmy.
Oh yes, that was really special. And I love Tina Fey and I love working with her. And Fortune Feimster and I actually did a pilot for Tina before she was actually doing two pilots simultaneously. She was doing The Unsinkable Kimmy Schmidt and Cabot College, which Fortune and I did. And so, we worked together on that. And, Tina is just an incredible writer, incredible producer, incredible actor, and just such a great comedian and comedic voice. And so I love being on that show. And I feel like, something like that is just so eternal. That's great to go back.
What was that pilot about with you and Fortune Feimster?
It was about a traditionally female college that was finally going to admit men. and it was for the first class of men going through a women's school. And so it was really like a fun, another sort of coming of age story, but in a sort of different sensibility. But it was a great project.
Were you and Fortune going to play professors?
Yeah. Well, Fortune was like I guess the RA, or she was like the house. She's sort of like
the den mother.
Yeah, she was like house dorm monitor or whatever, which is so perfect at, and probably physical education. And I was the dean.
Could someone please like find that on some shelf wherever that is and just come on?
So funny. I know, it was so good.
I mean, sex appeal, it's Hulu, maybe we can make this all happen with.
So great.
What about you? Were also in Sex and the City. Were you waiting for your phone to ring from your friend SJP for And Just Like That?
I would love to. I mean, I think like it's to me, yeah. I would love to be a part of the new one. So we'll see.
Have you watched it yet?
I haven't. I'm like saving it so that I can watch it all. Like I had to do the same thing with Succession. Like I had to watch the entire. I can't have breaks. I have to watch it in like the 10-hour block. So
I'm kind of the same way.
Yeah.
Well, you mentioned Belinda and her son, who is very politically active in the community. Like as a member of the community myself, thank you. You've been such an advocate.
Thank you.
Way from the start.
Yes.
Listen, it's so easy for people in the public eye like that are famous not to do anything. Just that's not you.
No, I think it's important because I mean, there's so many things to talk about. And so many people to sort of talk about and to talk with. And, for me being a queer Asian American feminist who's, been around the community since the 70s, like I have so much to say and so much to offer and so much to learn too. So it's good to be here.
Well, thank you for that.
Thank you.
For sex appeal, I mean, you have so many funny scenes with Fortune Feimster, but did you interact with Paris Jackson at all? I have to ask.
No, I never got to see her. We were all shooting in different sections of the movie. So we never got to hang out. We were hoping that because we were going to have a big premiere in LA this week. But of course, with everything happening with Omicron, we had to sort of like not do that. But, I'm a fan and I just wish that we could have had scenes together, but we never got to. That
would have been funny.
She's so great.
What is it like working with Fortune Feimster?
She's hilarious. I mean, it's also very familiar because it's like, oh, we've done so many things together. So it's like it's very normal to go and see her at work. Like I always work with her, or like Wanda Sykes or, Rebecca Henderson, or, they're just actors that I take such joy with getting to work with and I'm very familiar with.
If you could work with like any actor or actress, just, any genre, who would it be?
Gosh, who I love is Deborah Carr. I'm in a big Deborah Carr kick. She's dead, but she was so amazing. Like I just watched, I've done like a big Paulin Pressburger thing, just watching like The Red Shoes and Black Narcissus. She's a beautiful film. I also would have loved to work with Montgomery Clift and Elizabeth Taylor.
Okay.
I just watched Suddenly Last Summer yesterday, and it's such a crazy movie. Like after watching A Place in the Sun, that's a good double feature. A Place in the Sun and Suddenly Last Summer, you get to see the trajectory of Montgomery Clift and Elizabeth Taylor's relationship over time.